Hi guys, I am a week late for the podcasting thing. I was waiting on this lovely webcam thing to come from Amazon, and then we had to figure out why it wouldn't work on my computer. But it is finally up and running and working, and clearly you can see me better than when I was using the iPad. So it will be interesting to see how this works and how the mic works, because it is the mic that is integrated into the webcammy thing. But that was one of the gifts that Ty got me for my birthday. So this is a step up in the world from using my iPad to record and edit and all that. I don't know if there will be any editing on this podcast, just because I don't have any editing software on my computer yet. Anyways, introductions. I am Laura. You can find me on Ravelry as loraclare and on Instagram as lora.clare. I am the host of the Desert Knits podcast. Thank you all for stopping in and seeing what I'm up to. Right now, Andrea, the Cat Lady, or the Cat Lady podcast, and Ren of, I don't actually remember what her podcast name is right now. Girl with the Rabbit, Strong Girl Knits. I think it's the Strong Girl Knits podcast. Pretty sure, because Girl with the Rabbit podcast doesn't quite sound right. So, anyways, we are all hosting the Warrior Camp together. I think tomorrow is the last day of week 1. So come join us in our Ravelry group. We have lots of fun prizes to give away, and there's a good community and encouragement going on to help with people and their fitness goals. Let's see. Got that big. Another thing that I'm participating in this month and next month is the Tour de Sock. It is a speed knitting fundraising event for Doctors Without Borders. So you submit an entry fee. You can choose to be on a team or run independently. I chose to be on the Mad Cow team. It is Mad Cow is a yarn store over in Bothell, I think. Pretty sure. So somewhat local, only 4 or 5 hours away, depending on which road I take and how much traffic there is. So I'm on the Mad Cow team for Tour de Sock. Stage 1 just finished yesterday. It was either 9 or 10 p.m. my time, I don't remember, but I finished stage 1 an hour before the cutoff time, and then stage 2, the pattern was released 2 hours ago. So I haven't actually started that yet, but it is going to count as one of my whips. So straight into things. My finished socks for round 1 of the Tour de Sock. I don't have any sock blockers, so I'm sorry. This is going to look very odd. Ta-da! Oh, we're going that way. Okay. Sock number 1. And sock number 2 looks identical, so we're just going to go with, here's the pattern. I actually really like this pattern, and it's got a pretty basic heel flap, reinforced heel flap thing with the slip stitches, and then it actually has, oh, if I can get it on the camera, a gusset pattern for the decreases going on there. Hey, this camera's pretty good at focusing. Anyways, so sock number 1, I knit the medium size. I probably should have knit the small size. This is rather fat for a sock yarn. I don't know if you can see, but it is rather tightly knit. I'm Not sure that I will get this yarn again. The yarn that I used is the holiday yarns that came in, one of my yarn box sock club thingies. And let me see, it is the Silver Sock Fingering, 420 yards, 63% superwash merino, 20% silk, 15% nylon, and 2% silver. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see this with the cut in the middle. Focus, focus. How do people do this? There we go. The color that I used was amethyst. Not a color that I would pick for myself. It's very light purple. I don't actually dislike the color, it's just not something that I would have chosen to buy for myself. So the yarn box thing was nice while I was subscribed because I did get so many yarns that I wouldn't normally pick out for myself and colors that I wouldn't normally choose, like light purple. Like so light that it's not really showing up purple on the screen even. But yeah, I thought that the yarn was tough, scratchy, so it'll probably wear wonderfully, right? Because all of the scratchy yarns seem to do that, but I'm not sure that I want to knit with it again. So, who knows? Let's see. Finished object number 2. So this is the whole mince pie, and then I just did a plain foot, dog hair, sorry. Plain, no pattern on the foot. Mince Pie Mayhem from the Socktopus book. I really like this pattern. You can see I messed up right there at the top, but it was not something that I would enjoy doing for more than the leg of one sock. I didn't even finish it down the foot because no. So then the second sock, I decided that I would do a totally different pattern entirely. This is a basic slip stitch rib pattern thing. I looked at a bunch of stitch dictionaries and a bunch of different patterns and decided on this one out of one of the stitch dictionaries that I was looking at. So you can kind of see there's the slip stitches. It is ribbed. A very easy pattern to memorize and a very quick one to finish a whole sock. My goal was to finish these before Tour de Sock Stage 1. I finished. So, goal met. Now, works in progress. Like I mentioned earlier, I think the Tour de Sock round 2 started 2 hours ago. I have looked at the pattern. I have picked out some different yarns. I have not decided which one I'm going to use yet, but I will be casting on, and I will at least be finishing the ribbing tonight. I'm not a very fast knitter when it comes to things like this, so it will be interesting to see. I managed to get 1 point. 1 out of Tour de Sock Stage 1. I'm going to hope to get another point for Tour de Sock Stage 2. It's a really pretty pattern. Heidi Nick is the designer for Stage 2, and I really like her patterns. I actually test knit one of her socks for her. This would have been last summer? I think it was last spring. All of her patterns are beautiful, and they're very well written, and they all have lots of cables, which I like cables, but I'm not very fast at cables. So that'll be interesting. So the yarns that I pulled from my stash to figure out if it's what I want to knit with, I pulled my Smack. This is a locally dyed yarn. It is just your basic khaki, but I really like this shade of khaki. And then another option would be this guy. This is some Socks Yeah from Coop Knits. I got this one in another yarn box sock thing. So yeah, I guess this is some pretty new yarn for Coop Knits. I don't think she had branched out into yarn before. It is two 50-gram skeins. It is far skinnier than any other sock yarn I have ever used. So I'm not sure, not only ever used, but I think it rivals the slenderness with some of my lace yarn. So I'm not sure if this is one that I will use for a cabled pattern. Now that I'm actually talking about it and looking at it, I'm thinking probably not going to use it for this particular sock pattern. Another option is some of my Madeline Tosh stash. This is a skein of Tosh sock in the color Olivia. I got this one from Jimmy Beans, I think, and it was marked, oops, one of a kind. It was not similar enough to any of their other skeins to be sold, you know, as matching anything else that they have in stock. As far as sock yarns go, I really like the Madeline Tosh sock. I love Madeline Tosh yarns. I don't think I've ever actually used Madeline Tosh sock for socks. So that would be a new experience. I do know that the shawls that I've knit from it blocked beautifully, and I know that the yarn is very round, which helps show cables very nicely. I'm not sure if the Madeline Tosh sock will be a good fit for this particular pattern because it is a heavier sock yarn. It's 395 yards for this skein. Oops. There we go. Which in your average skein of sock yarn, that isn't really a whole lot. So I'm not really, I don't know. It's between that one, I think, and this next one that I'm going to show you. So this is a yarn that I got on clearance from Little Knits. Little Knits? I think it's Little Knits in Seattle. It's a, they have a lot of discount yarn. It's Rio de la Plata. Plata, I'm not really sure. Focus. Hide me. I'm not sure it's going to focus. Oh well, whatever. It is a self-striping, sort of. I had two other skeins of this yarn, and the stripes aren't very defined. So there are all these different colors, but I think that I can use this yarn in a cabled pattern and it would be just fine. There are 437 yards in this skein, so this is going to be closer to a sock weight as compared to the nice round fluffy Madeline Tosh. So I will be deciding that. I'll probably take labels off and pull one out of a hat. Now the next work in progress that I am working on is on this lovely little tool right here. Oh wow, that shows the colors perfectly. I tried to post a picture to Instagram earlier with all the colors and it totally didn't work. So this is, focus, not focusing. Here we go. No, go back there. This is my Slender Wish Goddess bristlecone goddess support spindle. I am playing along with the Grove Ravelry group. It's the Bristlecone fans group. There's a Princess Bride spin along right now. So I'm using the Inglenook sickle bats in the Princess Bride color collection of bats. It's 6 bats. Actually, just let me grab them. They're right behind my computer. So it's 6 bats. Obviously, I have taken one out of the bag to start spinning. I picked the most brown. I'm not a huge fan of brown, so I thought I would get the one that I might dislike the most out of the way first. But I have to say, this is a beautiful brown. I'm not a huge fan of brown. My hair is brown, my eyes are brown. It's just not something that I really knit with or spin, just because so much of what I have to work with is brown to begin with. I'm a fan of colors. So the brown one actually has all kinds of oranges and golds and blues. There are some green bits in there. I've kind of taken it apart and rolled it back together, and I'm pulling from ends, and it's gorgeous. I love this, which is not something that I would normally say about brown. It is clearly coming up brown on the spindle, but all of those little pops of color are just so much fun. I love them. I'm using it's kind of dirty, full of dust, my little flower petal bowl. Support spindling. So I decided to wait until I was done with my stage 1 socks for Tour de Sock to spin, because I want to participate in both things, but I also want to finish more socks. I think I've only finished, let's see, this makes 2, then I finished 3 for winter camp, so 6 pair this year, which is kind of slow for me for socks. Normally I give my mom a pair of socks for her birthday or for Mother's Day every year. They're both in May. And then I give her a pair of socks for Christmas. And occasionally socks in between there just because. She is definitely knit-worthy, and she loves the socks that I knit her. So I know that if I knit socks and I don't want them, or they don't fit me quite right, I can give them to her, and they pretty much always fit her. Most of the time I end up knitting my socks just a little bit too short because I'm impatient at the toe. Yeah, so I am doing this after the Tour de Sock socks, and kind of as a brain clearer for all of the big patterny things happening in the Tour de Sock socks, probably, especially with this next pattern and all the cables. I am also spinning along with the Arwen spin along in the Mirkwood Arts group on Ravelry, and I decided to wait until I got my Princess Bride fiber because all of these colors in the Princess Bride bag totally remind me of Arwen, you know, from Lord of the Rings. And I think the fiber that Wild Hair Studios designed for the spin along is like that blue, or maybe a mix between those two blues. So Princess Bride, Arwen, they totally match, right? I think they do. So I will be using, I have 2 Bristlecone Goddesses. I have 1 Mirkwood support spindle. I have a Phil Powell support spindle, and then I have my Jenkins. So I'm going to use all of those to spin up the Princess Bride fiber for the Princess Bride spin along and for the Arwen spin along. I really don't think that I will have them finished by the cutoff dates for the spin alongs, but that's okay. I don't mind. I'll turn this into a long-term spinning project on my support spindles. Let's see. Now that is my fiber in progress. You saw last time, I think, the Jenkins spin-along fiber that I was working on, the Northbound Knitting Telltale Heart color. I finished it, as you can see. I decided to, get it in the middle, there we go. Navajo ply it. Gosh, those colors are turning out gorgeous on the screen. So I decided to Navajo ply it. So it's kind of really short, stripy sections, which look amazing in the skein and will show up actually as color striping in whatever I end up knitting. I was planning on doing, hey look, yarn crown. It's kind of cute. I was planning on doing a pair of socks out of this, but I think I lost one of the little bits of fiber that I had pulled apart. I could have sworn that I had 3 left. I could only find 2. So I'm thinking that between my table here in the bedroom where I recorded last time, I dropped one, and one of the dogs got it. So I ended up with about 320 yards of this lovely, lovely, gorgeous yarn. I'm still thinking that I will make socks, though I think that I'll probably do them 2 at a time and toe up, which is not something that I normally do, but with 320-ish yards, I want to make sure that I can get a pair of socks rather than a sock and a half. So I will be learning a new skill, toe up 2 at a time. I've done both 2 at a time and toe up, but I've not combined them. So it'll be interesting. I'm drinking something from Roasters. Roasters is the best coffee around here. Yeah, I don't really like coffee, so I have a dirty chai, but it is tasty. Now, I won some fiber on an Instagram giveaway. Quillen Fiber Arts, she has a giveaway rather frequently, I think, and I've entered a few times. Her stuff is just beautiful. I love these colors. It's gorgeous. And everything that she posts is just awesome. So it is hand-dyed in Las Cruces, New Mexico. And this is Color Carnival. I don't really know how to say that word. Chevio? Combed top. So it's really airy and bouncy feeling. So, and it's not a fiber that I've spun before, so it'll be really exciting to me to try this fiber out. So here's her little business postcard. Go check her out. I looked at her website, or her Etsy store. It is so pretty. She has really pretty stuff. And it's all, oops, very photogenic. Like, I have taken pictures of that, though I haven't posted it on, or inputted in my stash yet on Ravelry. Normally I can't get good pictures with my point and shoot of fiber, ever. I always have to get out my DSLR. Well, the point and shoot worked for this stuff. So, I don't know when I'm going to spin it, but I'm going to spin it, and I love it. And I'll probably end up buying some fiber from her just because it doesn't look like any of it is felted, which is something that I've run into a few times with braids that I've gotten. So typically I only buy braids if I can see them in person, or if they are a vendor who has had lots of really good reviews, like Inglenook. Oh yeah, I don't know if I mentioned Inglenook fibers. Sickle bats. These are my first sickle bats and my first Inglenook fibers. Anyways, moving on. So fiber one, milk. All right. Thank you guys for sticking around for all of my pretty random rambling. I don't really have show notes today. I have a checklist in my head. So I'm sorry if I'm jumping all over the place. Also caffeine. So thank you for joining me for my podcast today. I am going to cover some running stuff. If you want to bow out now, that is okay. Remember, we're doing Warrior Camp until the end of July, so come join us and set yourself some crafty and some fitness goals. I will post a link to the Ravelry group. Well, it'll be in my show notes on my blog, and probably in the drop-down menu on YouTube. So look down there. Now, I always cover running stuff at the end of my podcasts. So this week I have like 3 weeks worth of running stuff to cover instead of just the 2 that I normally do, because I decided to wait until I had a better camera to record. Sorry. So since my last recording, which was on May 22nd, I have run 49 miles. I tallied it out. I use a Garmin Forerunner to track all of the things that I want to track, essentially. Oops. Let me get to the homepage. There we go. So to track all of the things that I want to track. Like for some reason my phone didn't sync with my watch for today's run. I did 8.5 miles. This is my last run, but it keeps track of all of my mileage for me and my times and all of that stuff, all of that fun stuff, pertinent information, right, for knowing that I went up and down 3 hills. Anyways, there are no hills in my area, none. The only real hill is up the highway, and then back down from the highway, and then up to the highway again. Yeah, it's rather flat here. But I have run 49 miles since May 22nd, and I took 3 days off of running. The week that my mom was here, I took a day off running, and then this last week I actually took 2 days off. Well, no, I only took 1 day off running. I took my cross training day off, and then I took the next day off running. I was exhausted. I couldn't get out of bed. I went to work. I was tired. I almost fell asleep during my work breaks. And then I got home and I ate and I went to sleep. My throat hurt. I was all phlegmy. So I think that sleep was better for me than running at that point. And I am hoping that I don't have to take more days off. I think that I'm probably over my whatever funk was happening. My throat isn't sore anymore. I'm still a little phlegmy just because allergies, but it's not too bad. You can see my dogs have a very hard life. Yes, they are allowed on the furniture. Anyways, another thing that Ty got me for my birthday was a Nathan running pack. This is something that is going to come in extremely handy and has already helped me out quite a bit. I have a waist pack thing, a little Nike, like essentially a very small fanny pack. But there's nowhere for me to carry water or even really snacks. I really just carried dog poop bags and my phone in that. And then I have a waist back pack thingy made by Outward Hound, and it is essentially something to carry dog waste bags, dog treats, and have a dog attached to it. Not very handy, again, for me, for running in the winter or in the summer. Also, I don't think that it works out very well for running because it bounces all over the place. I've used some running belts before that didn't bounce all over the place. This one bounces all over the place. So I have a Camelback, but it is just, minus this zippered pocket here, it is literally just a big giant pouch for the water bladder. It has a tiny pocket on it. I don't have a big phone. I really don't. I have one of the cheapest Galaxy things that you could get from Verizon. So not at all a big phone. It didn't fit in the pocket. So I would have to carry the Camelback for water for me and the Nike waist belt thingy for the phone and the boot bags. Not really something that worked out very well. And it chafed under my arms really bad. So I got the Nathan pouchy thing, backpacky thing, and it has pockets on the front and on the back. So I actually this morning carried my point and shoot camera in this pocket. I have poop bags readily available in this pocket. I had phone and snacks in this pocket. I have another pocket back here if I wanted to carry more snacks, or actually, I got them out. I have Bluetooth wireless headphones because a corded headphone set and dog leash and everything is just, I get tangled. I get tangled in my vacuum cord. I get tangled in everything. So wireless headphones are a huge plus for me. The battery died about a mile and a quarter into my run, my 8.5 mile run. So I had somewhere to stick my dead headphones in this lovely pocket in the back. And then, hey presto, water bladder. And this opening, the water bladder thing, so much easier than filling the Camelback. So much easier. Now, this one is technically a men's vest. I don't care. I decided that I wanted the gray one. They all seemed to look the same and fit the same. I went to REI a couple weeks ago and they had them, and I tried them all on at the REI. And this one it seemed to fit the same as the model that was supposed to be for women. So I got the one in the color that is not going to clash every single thing that I own, because I wear a lot of neon green and orange and pink, blue when I'm running. So the pink and orange, or the orange and pink bags I decided to go with gray so that it would fit all of my clothing options better. Which I know sounds silly I'm running. I don't have to be fashionable, but I like to match sometimes. Like I have pink shoes. I will wear my pink shoes with my pink pants and a white shirt. Or I have a white running skirt with a little pink stripe on it. Yeah, it's silly, I know, but I like looking colorful in a matchy way, not in a she just got out of the nut house way. So anyways, running. It has been really hot, really, really hot. So I haven't been running after work. I have had to wake up in the morning before work because it's still 95, 96 degrees when I get off work and get home and get changed for a run at 8:30 p.m. Which is just, it's too hot. It's too hot for me to run then. So I've been waking up at 5:30 and running in the morning before work. I don't like waking up in the morning, and even so, it is still really rather warm in the morning when I go on my morning runs. So Molly has been feeling neglected she hasn't been able to run with me because it's been too hot. So this last week it was actually cool enough. It started cooling down Wednesday. So this morning I decided, okay, I'm only supposed to run 8 miles today. I can do a lap and drop her off if she needs to, if I think that she's not going to be able to finish, or she might be able to run the whole thing with me. She definitely appreciated the fact that we stopped down at the river and she got to go wading. She found a swan. She really wanted to meet the swan. But it went really well. She made it the whole way. The last 1.5 miles or so, she was done. She was behind me. We were going like 13-minute miles. I was still trying to run. Come on, Molly. Come on, Molly. Yeah, no. She was done. But we did the whole, well, we actually did like 8.5 miles. And she stayed up with me. And it didn't get too hot. It was, I think by the time we finished, it was still only like 75 degrees out, which is not bad for June 11th in the desert. So yeah, it went well this morning. I am going to try to incorporate yoga twice next week and see how it goes. So hopefully the next time that I talk to you, which will be next weekend, I will be back on schedule. I will have done yoga twice, and I can tell you how not flexible I am. So anyways, again, you can find me on Ravelry as loraclare and on Instagram as lora.clare. Come check me out on my blog at desertknit.blogspot.com, and I will see you all next week.